Hello, parents. Did the topic freak you out completely? Or you felt that big deal, boys will be boys? Or you felt that, oh no, I have failed as a parent? All these reactions are obvious, but not the correct one. How you respond to this delicate situation will decide whether you strengthen or weaken your bond with your child. On GenX Parenting with Dr. Ananya Chiltale, we are going to share with you how to respond if you find that your child is watching a porn. Let's get going then.
Okay, Lina. So once you have found that your child is watching porn or you have caught him red-handed, then remember that the thing has been done, the act has been done. The child has got already exposed. So nothing that you do can undo the exposure that has been happening. Okay. So first thing that we as a parent should remember is that we are going to go through a hell lot of emotions simply because it is a very hard thing to wrap around our own mind that how come my child is watching porn, right? So we are going to undergo frustration, self blame, anger, embarrassment. And if we choose to react immediately, our reaction will be dependent on what emotions we are feeling about this whole event. And usually the reaction then becomes of severe aggression towards child or hitting the child, shouting at child, screaming at child. And none of this is going to solve the problem at hand. So at that moment, unless and until you already feel calm and composed about the situation, do not react. At that time, tell your child to stop watching porn immediately and that you know that the child has been watching porn. Convey that message and also convey the message to the child that why I am asking you to stop watching porn, that I will discuss with you maybe in the evening or after 2 hours. While you do that, watch your body language, watch your tone. This has to be conveyed to the child in a very non-threatening manner, right? Because remember, even children are going through a lot of emotions when they find that my parent has found out. They are going through anger, embarrassment, frustrations itself. And now added on that is going to be fear of how my parent is going to react. What is my mom or dad going to do me now that they have caught me, right? So we don't want to delay our response to this, but at the same time we don't want the child to feel so scared that he might take up something very negative and do some physical harm or anything of that sort, right? Now once you have conveyed to your child in a very non-threatening yet in a clear manner that you will talk to him about this stuff, immediately connect with your partner, and then you both need to jot down the points on which you want to initiate the discussion. If you feel stuck as to how to address this further, get in touch with a counselor or a mental health professional immediately to figure out how you're going to talk to the child. Do not delay this discussion too much. Try to discuss this on the same day itself. Okay. How you can discuss that, I would like to put on 4 steps on which you can base your discussions on. So the first step, be very clear about what terms you're going to use when you start discussing about the porn, right? So when you're discussing about the porn, obviously things like sexual intercourse or the process or the act is going to come in the discussion. At that time, please use biological terms. For example, let the penis be called as penis and not a dick. Okay, let the breast be called as breast and not boobs. By doing this, you're giving a clear message to your child that sexual intercourse is a normal, natural process, and that should not be denigrated by use of derogatory terms for the reproductive system organs. Okay, that is the first thing. Secondly, this is not the time to beat around the bush or use euphemisms or be very indirect or subtle about it. Your child has already watched it. So be very clear when you want to talk about any aspect of sex or act or sexual intercourse, etc. Right? Then tell them how it is not okay, or rather why it is not okay to watch porn. Okay, if you have been exposed to the porn till now, from here on you're stopping it, and why it is not okay, right? Then we move on to step 2. While you tell them why it is not okay, I want you to take a position of a parent again who is with the child. Normally parents say that it is bad, Do not paint porn good or bad right now. You can use the legal aspects associated with porn. For example, we know that children are not supposed to watch porn even legally. So tell them that there are certain laws, there is certain content that is made only for adults. It is not that you who are against a child to watch the porn, because that will make you as a villain, okay, unnecessarily. So tell them about the legal aspects, tell them about why watching porn is not okay, because it can sort of present the reality in a very perverted way. Remember, our point here is not just to get across that watching porn is good or bad. Right? Our point here is to make child understand that porn does not depict the entire aspect and the beauty and the different good aspects about this whole process of sexual act. Right? We have to convey to them the point that porn is nothing but many times a perverted version of reality. Many times the things that are depicted in porn itself are not legal and are not to be done. Right? So this is your step 2. As children many times are always curious to know about sexual acts and they don't know where to go to, and that's where many times they can land up watching porn. So if they realize that my parents are comfortable talking about this whole process, they will not resort to the porn by default rather than you reinforcing certain things on them. Apart from that, also discuss what were they feeling while they were watching porn. Tell them it is natural to feel aroused or feel weird when you're watching porn. Again, to convey to them that it is okay if you talk about these things with me and I can provide you information rather than you visiting certain websites, right? Then comes our step 3. Step 3 is where you can tell actually how sexual intercourse can happen. Share your views about sex, share about the emotional aspects of physical intimacy, share how it can be a very a pleasurable thing, productive thing when done in right circumstances at right age and in a right manner. Okay. Step 4 is that where they have to be made aware that whatever is shown in porn is not just a perverted version, but it is not even reality when it comes to the kind of body parts they show and the way they show the whole thing. For example, we can have teenagers who struggle with body image just by watching porn, right? So you have to continuously educate them that whatever is shown in porn should not be a standard for them to compare themselves with the people or the actors who are there in the porn. Okay. This is how you can base your discussion, and then again keep your discretion where a child might want to know various other aspects that can come. For example, there are certain things what they might get exposed to porn, including lesbian porn, lesbian relationships. So this is another opportunity where a Pandora box can open up, and where once your child knows that you are comfortable in talking about these things and you are non-judgmental as a parent, child will open up to you very nicely and you can handle lot more things which are coming along with this porn exposure. Yes, actually, this is a good point because yes, accidental exposure can very well happen. That is why maybe one of the aspects that we need to investigate during our discussion with a child is how did the child land up watching porn? Okay, what was the source? Whether it was suggested by somebody in school or in friends or any person, because if your child is, when we're talking about children who are less than 18 years or teens who are less than 18 years, we know that even somebody forcing them to watch porn is illegal and it comes under the POXO Act, right? So again, it is important to know that whether this is happening as some form of child abuse in this way or it has been really accidental, right? So investigating source is very important. So you have to be one step ahead of your child and also get updated with all the latest technological things that come in the digital space. And that's where our discussion about cyber safety also comes in. Our knowledge about how much we know about Instagram, Snapchat, all these things will come in. So as a parent, you have to be very well versed with different uh, zones or rather different sources from where there is a potential that child might get exposed to some kind of pornographic material. Then Another way of what I will talk about is preventing these accidental exposures. Okay. Please delay the time your child actually owns his own device, right? If you are going to give own device to the child, please see to it that he uses it when you are around the child. Okay, do not give an access in a private room of the child. Secondly, always remember that you have activated all the parental settings onto the device, right? You just don't know what kind of content might just slip in. So activating parental controls on all your devices is very crucial. Okay. Never leave your child unsupervised when he is in front of any screen, be it a mobile or an iPad or even your personal computer, right? Please be careful about what the child is talking about, what kind of games the child is playing. If the children are together in one room and they're playing, don't leave them unsupervised. Even they're thinking that, there are some children who are bigger than his age, they will know better. No, we have had incidences where bigger children have forced on younger children to do certain sexual acts. Trust me, if you change your position from being that authoritative parent to being that person whom the child would be comfortable with, you will find doing all this very easy. Okay, so see this entire adolescent period of your child as an opportunity which you have been given by God or by nature, by whomsoever, to develop or to grow an adult who is a very healthy, mature adult and who is going to be successful tomorrow, not just academically and professionally, but even in these core aspects of life.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for guiding us on how to handle this very, very sensitive situation so intelligently. If you found this video helpful, then do share it with fellow parents. And if you think that GenX Parenting is helping you to deal with new age parenting challenges, then please subscribe to GenX Parenting because we are aiming at 500 subscribers by October 2022. We are counting on your support. Thank you so much. For personal consultation, you may reach out to Dr. Ananya Chiltale on the details shared on the screen.